Namaste, Jai Bharat. Let's discuss about or talk about meaningfully coexisting in society. If you go back to the kind of curriculum which you must have undergone, just retrospectively reflect how many times or how many units of teaching you came across which may be giving either implicitly or explicitly some kind of instructions how to live with the others, socially existing. We know that human being is a social being. He cannot live meaningfully in isolation without without getting connected to other humans. There's a story, I don't know how far it is true, about Akbar, the Mughal king, who, of course, as you know, was illiterate, did not know how to read and write. He thought the God also must have a language, as we human beings have language. So he wanted to find out the language of God. I don't know how true this story is. It's an anecdote I came across. So he keeps a newborn child far away from civilization. And he thought that newborn child, if you don't teach him a language of human being, would be naturally speaking the language of the God, whatever. And you can well imagine what would have been the result of such an experiment for Akbar. Now, a human child, people rightly say, is the most helpless offspring of nature. A human child is born into social coexistence. He picks up everything from others. Everything, the way he talks, walks, behaves, even smiles. This entire, whatever you say as yourself, actually you borrow from society. That is where society becomes important. And that is where social existence becomes important. And whatever you do in society, there must be a way or a method through which you exist in society and you function in society and you do in society if you meaningfully want to coexist with others. Of course, what I have in my mind is the Vedopanishadic epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural. Ultimately, it is that. But this is not simply taught. And if again, I'm telling you, if you go back to the kind of curricula you came across, you studied, how many points in your life you can recall where somebody tells you, other than out of syllabus, some syllabus teaches you how to coexist with fellow being meaningfully. It should be mutually beneficial. And in order to be mutually beneficial, obviously, you must know how to play your part, how to live on your part, how to conduct yourself on your part. Now you see, when you live in a society, you'll have many roles to function in society. There are many roles that you have to function. I'm not telling act like Shakespeare. Of course, he's right in his own perspective, but you have to function. I would like to make it a little more meaningful. Many roles you have to function, and each role you have to function meaningfully. How this can be done? Did anyone at any point tell you how to function other than maybe from your parents or someone who is so dear or someone you consider as a model and the list? They are isolated specific instructions. But was there any general instructions which can be adopted by anyone who is growing in the society, youth? When you have a lot of functions to function in society, See, we just get trained. See, as per the four ashramas of human life, the first one, brahmacharya, in which you are supposed to acquire knowledge, education. First 25 years is spent for education. And when everyone goes for education, then different people get educated into different branches. Modern times also it is the same. We have someone who is going for medical, someone who is going for something else, someone is going for something else. But in such manifold field, manifold existence, one has to function meaningfully through the epistemology of coexistence with the multiple and plural. How many times you got such instructions in your life? In all likelihood, when you follow a non-Bharatiya curriculum, your answers will be in the negative. But then, I will just speak about one Bharatiya, what should I call, diamond instruction, the Purusharthas. The Purusharthas. People call Purusharthas as moral instructions from Bharatiya knowledge tradition, etc., etc., etc. Let it be. But I tell you, the Purusharthas give you sufficient instructions as to how to function in any situation. Whichever role you pick up in society, in whichever capacity, an understanding of Purusharthas would enable you, strengthen you to live meaningfully, which would eventually amount to the epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural, as the Vedopanishadic knowledge tradition prescribes. Let's say what are the Purusharthas. Fundamentally, Purusharthas have got four values built in it. I will just use the European concept values for want of another word. Four values. They are, Purusharthas include dharma, artha, kama, moksha. I'll first talk from kama, then artha, then dharma, of course moksha we need not to talk about. I'll tell you why. Kama, positively meaning desire. There must be a want in you to do anything. Until you have a desire to do something, it won't really happen. When you want to study, you must have a want to study something specific. You must have a desire to study something specific. The other day I was giving example when I was talking about Kyrgyzstan. I was giving examples of the necessity of vocation in life. Suppose you want to be a teacher. You really must have a want to teach. In other words, you must enjoy your work. You must enjoy teaching. Otherwise, you are going to make your life miserable, apart from making the lives of many children or students miserable. So you must have a vocation, a want. You must be able to find meaning, satisfaction, contentment, happiness in the sense of ananda, not pleasure. Happiness in the sense of ananda in doing a job, whatever job, as a teacher, as a doctor, as a consultant, as anything. Until you are able to find meaning in your social function, you will be under continuous strain, constant strain. Such lives will be strenuous. So, a desire to do anything becomes very important. You must want to do. I wanted to join the army. Because there's something that draws me into joining the army. Not the glamour of uniform, but the sense of belonging to my nation. The kind of national pride, the meaning that you find in your nationhood, and the satisfaction you draw from working for the nation, functioning for the nation, lot of reasons you have, and you willingly, wantingly join the army, you enjoy. You find every step you march meaningful, every drill you do meaningful, and every training you receive worthy. I'm not simply telling this, I've undergone this. Everything, every training you get becomes worthy, you enjoy it. Again telling, I've undergone it. So a desire to do, a want to do, without that, you can do nothing at all in your life. Suppose somebody goes to become a doctor, like that is why I said in Kyrgyzstan story, the people, the parents actually, not really the children, the parents, somehow wanted their son to be a doctor, daughter to be a doctor, and since, suppose, unfortunately, is unable to come into the merit list of getting admissions in Bharat, they will take this shortcut of sending them somewhere like Kyrgyzstan. There only the violence took place. I did mention about that yesterday, I suppose. Then you send him by force to become a medico. He learns to be a physician because his parents are spending money for him, and every son wants to live up to the dreams of his parents. That's a problem with Hindus. Whether it is a problem or quality is up to you. In this context, it amounts to problem somewhere. You want to live up to the dreams of your parents, and there, if you have definite objectives and desires, you are forced to sacrifice that. Majority of us may not have the definite objectives and desires. Maybe we borrow, we copy from someone else, etc. But the desire to do something is what really pushes you forward in time and space to acquire something in life. So karma is desire. And second mulya, second value in Purushartha, this is the third value, karma, is artha. Artha means sampatti, property. To function, you must have fuel. To function, you must have economic stability. If a nation, even in the communist, say the socialist nations, the Marxist kind of nations, they have a period of socialism before they really go beyond the socialism into the so-called communism of that fantasy like structure. In order to go to communism, you must have sufficient property. The state must have sufficient property to give according to the need of everyone. The need of everyone. To all people according their need. If the nation has to give, then the nation has to have property. Economic structure, economic strength, or artha. So without artha, you can't do anything. That's very, very practical. Without having sufficient funds, you can't do anything. And you should not go about doing things without having sufficient funds. But that to acquire funds also you need this desire. See, you have a desire to do something, and in order to make that desire to do something a reality, successful and meaningful, you must have appropriate artha, proper funds, proper economic infrastructure. So that is what artha means, the second value. Then the first value, dharma, which is very difficult to translate dharma into English or any other foreign language, because dharma is an omni-vehicle of complete rights. In all contexts, there is dharma. What is appropriate is dharma. What is right is dharma. What is not appropriate is adharma. In simple explanation. In every context, in every walk of life, there are multiple dharmas. It's very difficult to try to get a word. Let me see the concept of righteousness in Bible. In Bible, there is a concept of righteousness, and to tell you in which context it is used. Speaking about Joseph, Joseph is said to be a righteous man. But here the righteous man means only narrow meaning. But if you expand the concept of being righteous, then we can come near the concept of dharma to say that all righteous things together might be said to be constituting dharma. What does it imply to artha and kama? Your kama, your desire for whatever must have a bearing of dharma. Your desire, whatever, must be controlled, must be regulated, must be even stipulated by and through dharma. It must be through dharma. Once your desire is through dharma, your acquisition of artha also must be through dharma. Naturally. So dharma stands as the ultimate umbrella above your head, regulating and controlling you, making you yourselves decide what is right and wrong righteously. So acquisition of property, acquisition of artha is obviously through dharma, has to be through dharma, and the wish and want for anything also must be through dharma. So dharma, artha, kama. Once these three things are connected, regulated and functional in tandem, in a kind of synchrony, in a kind of synchronization, well, you don't have to work for moksha. See, for Hindu dharma, moksha or liberation is attained and by your own work. God has no role. In fact, we don't have that clear concept of God as we find in Semitic religions. God has really no role. It is something which is your right, and you are taught, you know how to acquire that, and you work. Nobody can deny you your right to moksha, to liberation. Your right to liberation is your right, and no one can deny it to you. And in fact, there is nobody who would deny it to you. It has to happen automatically. So, if you follow the values of Purushartha, the instructions of Purushartha, of having the right desire, right way of acquisition of property, that is through dharma, then the moksha becomes automatic. So, the dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, in these four values, dharma, artha, kama and moksha becomes automatic. You simply have to be dharmic. Again, if you go through dharma, if you adopt dharma, then the desire, kama will be legitimate, the acquisition of artha will be legitimate, and moksha is automatically automatic. Moksha is automatically automatic. Sadharma becomes the prime sankalpa concept through which you have to do everything. That's why we have been taught, we come across many dharmas. Your dharma as a son, your dharma as a father, your dharma as a sister, your dharma as a brother, your dharma as a student, your dharma as a teacher, your dharma as a friend, and your dharma as a foe. Your dharma to react, your dharma to fight back, your dharma to save dharma, dharmo rakshati rakshita. Your dharma to defend your nation, your dharma to defend your society, and also your dharma to defend yourselves. So once you are dharmic, everything is automatic. Everything will automatically fall into automatic function. So at least in Bharatiya knowledge tradition, which is the Vedopanishadic knowledge tradition, there is instruction for people to meaningfully function in a society which is expected to be coexisting spontaneously through a concept of Tyaga, of course, where the society is not upon a contract, like social contract theories. The society comes together through the concept of Tyaga, roughly in English as sacrifice. This teaches you how to do what? This is only one small paracetamol from the Hindu worldview for maladies that one finds. But you go deep into, you go dig deep and deeper into the Vedopanishadic knowledge tradition, you come across many things like this. You will be taught to live, and also you will be taught to die. You will be taught to live meaningfully, and you will also be taught to do everything. Taught means nobody is sitting and teaching you from things exposed to you. You will learn by yourselves. What Socrates said in Greek comes closer here. Know this Asian, know thyself. Know thyself doesn't mean know yourself in the sense to know the self within you. No. This is to know without any help of anybody else, all by yourselves. Self, when you say in different contexts, it can mean different things. No one's fault. Contexts and confusions are needed. So, Purusharthas are one small capsule which can enable a person to live meaningfully in whichever way, whichever function he is into, and in whichever capacity he lives in, and in whichever status and standard and position he lives in. Simple. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, total righteousness, all righteousness. Artha, acquisition of property. Kama, desire to acquire property. Without the right desire, nobody does anything in this world. Under compulsion, you become a moron. If this is there, then a liberation becomes spontaneous, automatic. You have nothing to do further. Do any of this. There are multiple ways to attain liberation. One is Purusharthas, another one is knowledge, another one is devotion. Many ways are there. And you are free to make your own method to transcend. And of course, we will learn it. You make it. And it can be taught. So, Purushartha comes to you as a mantra. You know what a mantra is? Oh, mantra is a compressed set of meaning Meanings are compressed into minimum words. Into a mantra, they are compressed capsule of meaning. Knowledge, meaning means knowledge. Compressed capsule of knowledge and meanings, or meanings of knowledge, that's what I meant. So Purushartha becomes a mantra. It can be used wherever, in whichever capacity you are, meaningfully, provided you learn that. There is no magic in it. It is not even a trump card. But it's a thing that you learn which can apply in any context. That would make your existence meaningful. It has a lot of meaning built into it, lot of knowledge built into it, and that makes it dharma. Like compressed nitrogen, oxygen, whatever the remaining, takes only small space. Large quantity taking small place. Maximum quantity taking minimum space. And that is what the Vedic mantras do. That is what a mantra does. Using minimum words, carrying maximum meaning. So Purushartha is one such example. Try to understand the Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama. Let moksha remain. Right desire. Later in Ashtanga Marga, Buddha talks in the same direction. Buddha was very wise, who did not explicitly mention any of his Vedic influence because of various social reasons. He did not mention explicitly. But then, Ashtanga Marga, eightfold paths to get nirvana, talks the same thing in different language. Samyak drishti, samyak sankalpa, all those things, 8 things. So, Purushartha gives you the capsule, mantra, which can apply in any context. And it's not a complicated theory, it's rather a very simple theory. Apply anywhere in your life. As a trader, as a driver, as a painter, as anything. Apply it in your life. As a doctor, as a teacher, just apply it in your life. All the best. Try it out. Make life meaningful. Purusharthas is there. And the Vedopanishadic knowledge tradition, which is the Bharati knowledge tradition, is again a real storehouse of well-being and knowledge. It's all open. Only thing, you must have the right karma, desire to do the right thing. Then you'll automatically come to learn this. Till we meet again, Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.